Hi everyone, I'm Mohamed Naguib, a cybersecurity researcher with over 19 years of experience in information technology and cybersecurity. Welcome back to our Cloud Security Mastery course. As you know, in this series, we're taking a structured approach starting from the fundamentals of cloud computing and gradually advancing into the critical aspects of securing cloud environments. Whether you're seeking to be a cloud architect, DevOps engineer,
DevSecOps engineer,
or an aspiring cloud security engineer, or cloud penetration tester, this course is designed to give you the deep practical knowledge you need to excel. So let's start now. Alright, in this lecture, we're going to dive deeper into IAM policies. We'll explore how policies work with users and groups, look at policy inheritance, and break down the structure of a policy document. A policy inheritance with groups and users. Let's start with a simple example. Imagine we have a developer group that includes Momo, Nana, and Chocho. If we attach a policy to this group, all three members, Momo, Nana, and Choco, will inherit that policy automatically. Now, consider a second operations group with its own policy. Members of this group, Dodo and Dam, will have a different policy than the developers. But what about Frank? Frank is a standalone user. He's not in a group. In this case, we can attach what's called an inline policy. A policy directly linked to a single user, independent of any group. Multiple policies and overlapping groups. There's also the possibility for a user to be in multiple groups. For example, Choco and Dodo are both part of an audit team which has its own policy. As a result, Chocho inherits policies from both the developer group and the audit team, while Dodo inherits policies from operations and audit. This layered policy structure allows fine-grained control over what users can and cannot do. Understanding policy structure, now let's talk about what an IAM policy document looks like. Policies in OS are written in JSON format, but don't worry, you don't need to be a programmer to understand them. A typical policy includes this defines the policy language version, usually an identifier for the policy optional, one or multiple statements which define the actual permissions. Breaking down a statement, each statement contains the following key elements. SID statement ID, an optional identifier for the statement. This can be allow or deny, telling us whether to permit or block certain actions. Principal defines which OS account, user, or role the policy applies to. For example, you might see it applied to the root user of your OS account. Action lists the AP calls or operations the policy controls, e.g. estays and put object. Resource specifies which resources these actions apply to Z or G, a bucket, or an EC2 instance. Condition optional rules that determine when this statement should be applied. Exam tips for the Certified Cloud Practitioner exam. Make sure you understand the key parts of a policy: effect, principle, action, and resource. We'll practice these throughout the course, so by the end you'll feel confident reading and understanding them. That's it for this lecture on IAM policies. Next, we'll get hands-on and create some policies together.